Hello and welcome to DVD Review. I'm Mitchell Herrmann, and with me this week is Andrew Herrmann. On this episode, we're going to be reviewing Tree of Life. Let's take a look. The Tree of Life is as much a philosophical meditation as it is a narrative film in the traditional sense. It is deeply contemplative and experimental, dealing with a series of abstract and sometimes esoteric themes, such as order versus chaos, the nature of masculinity and femininity, and the frustrated desire of mankind to find meaning and stability in a world of random tragedy.
Every one of these top executives, you know how they got where they are? Floated right down the middle of the river. Don't let anyone tell you there's anything you can't do.
Much of the film centers around a suburban family living in Texas in the 1950s, with Brad Pitt playing the bitter, abusive father, Jessica Chastain as the gentle, loving mother, and Sean Penn as the adult version of their son. But this plot is really only a small part of the movie. Terrence Malick, the director and writer, uses cinematography, CGI, and sound to create a complex web of symbolism and profound reflection. The film feels like a childhood memory, alternately dreamlike, surreal, and impressionistic. Dialogue is treated almost as a sound effect, used as often to create mood as to imply meaning. We see, quite literally, the creation of the universe and then the genesis of life itself, in epic celestial scenes evoking Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. The Tree of Life is a challenging film that not everyone will necessarily enjoy. But if the idea of cinematic metaphysics at all appeals to you, you may just find The Tree of Life to be both deeply thought-provoking and sublimely beautiful. I thought this was a pretty great movie. What did you think about it?
I thought it was a very good movie, though I think it's going to require some patience on the part of the viewer. It's really kind of a movie that's really two parts. It's the beginning and the end is one part, and that's very sort of spacey and more art film-like, and then there's a more conventional story in the middle involving Brad Pitt being the father of a son and their relationship.
Yeah, this movie. This movie demands concentration from the viewers. You know, it's like a work of literature. It has a lot of layers of symbolism and sort of philosophical meaning.
Well, the art film part at the beginning and the end was very beautiful to look at. The photography was incredible, but the middle story I think was very interesting about how parents raise their children and how parents sometimes, though they mean well, don't always do the right thing in trying to mold and shape their child.
The more artsy sort of avant-garde part of it is it indulges in sort of a great tradition of cinema, which is setting these grand celestial scenes to classical music. And I think the use of choral music specifically in the Tree of Life space scenes gives them a pretty humanistic feel rather than an austere or stark kind of film.
Really, it reminded me of 2001: A Space Odyssey when I was watching it, and I remember when that came out years ago, and everyone wondered what is going on, and there's sort of that sort of feel, what is going on at the beginning of this film, but once you get into that core centerpiece, it becomes, I think, more interesting in the middle.
Well, I think the difference between 2001 and this film is that 2001 is a film about the sort of overall scope and trajectory of mankind and life as a whole rather than as a collection of individuals. But this film is more about, it's celebrating the personal individual role in the greater universe. So what's your verdict on the movie?
I would say rent it.
You know, I would agree. In my opinion, I think you should definitely rent it, and if you can, rent it multiple times. That's all the time we have for this week. Tree of Life is now available on DVD. Thanks for watching.